Yeah. Oh.
Okay, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Live Season 2, Episode 2. So it's the Awakening Brief, okay? And clearly, obviously, I am not Liam, so he's off tonight because his home life work life ratio is right at the poop shoot at the moment. So he's gone to bed early, bless him. So no Goo, you've got me instead, and the crew. So slides are up tonight, okay, and as we did brief them, we've definitely got the raid preview targets and that sort of stuff. So we know what's coming, we know the prize list as well, and we've got some rumors to talk about and some other possible issues as well to discuss. So welcome to the crew. How are you guys? All right?
Yeah, not bad yourselves.
Been worse. Slides by Andrew tonight, obviously. Hey Brian, how you doing? Have you calmed down yet?
Okay.
He's
George, what about you, mate? What sort of mood are you in this evening?
I'm not going to comment.
Oh, okay then. All right. And Ren's busy at the moment because he's still plugging away doing other things at the moment. So we'll go straight up with the slides, okay? Because there's quite a bit of content.
Yay!
Hey, Ren's in. How's it? That's the second week with that hat on, by the way.
He's been knocking off banks.
That's the second week with that hat on. Is that a Christmas hat?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a new one, or has you just got no heat in your house, or something?
No,
He's
I
been
have
knocking off
heating.
banks.
It's cool. It's just like this. My home office, I keep it colder.
Oh, I see.
And then just because I didn't have time to go get a haircut, it is off, so I put this on.
Oh, I got you. Right. Okay, so we're up on the slides you should be able to see from now then. So, like it says, there's TFC, obviously, Season 2, Episode 2, 10th of January 17, which is cool. So, let's have a look. What have we got tonight then? So, I'll let you glance over the slide pack content. There's quite a bit there to go through, really, to be honest. So, just like to say, obviously, some of this content here is still subject to change. Okay, then. Oh God, that's a kicksy term. Why did I just say that? All right, then. So some of it that we've got may not necessarily get into the final version. Let's put it that way. All right. There we are. So, yeah,
That's a big prize stat.
It is a lot. So here's the first, and we'll sort of like sit over some of the prize pools, and just so you can sort of take them in. As ever, we'll put up a PDF at the end on the show as soon as we post the show back up again. And yeah, I can see the chat going mental already. Really, 2 flags, blah blah blah, and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it gets more interesting yet. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so bear in mind you've got left flank and right flank again. Okay, then so you've got some things to consider. Okay, straight away. You can see that we all know about the high velocity rounds because obviously they were in the preview. In the second half, after the first hour, you could switch out one of the specials and switch that in instead. It did make quite an interesting upgrade, I have to say. But on the right hand flank, then yet again, you got the alpha that's turned up. Obviously, there's a corresponding UAV. Blame Liam for that, I reckon, because he loves his UAVs. And then there's a UAV override as well, special, and I'm sure George is going to do a little ditto on that for us. But interesting, but some good things. Particle cannon's a good price, I think, to be honest. Nuke accelerator is ridiculously cheap, so if you've never got that and you can't get many points, at least you can upgrade something or other, which is quite decent.
You mispronounced the price. It should have been last raid.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes. Something should have been last raid. Okay. But the routine stuff, 15 million for the Cannoneer, obviously, and obviously for the new base hull as well. So the Defender hull there, it's 15 million as well. So pick left or pick right. It's up to you, really. As far as we know, though, from this point forward, to date, you can't pick both specials. So you've got to make your mind up what you want to go for. Is that right, guys?
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does not have me a happy camper right now.
Same as the Apollo when the first Apollo raid came out, wasn't it? It's like the same thing.
Yeah, and I think this is like, again, people say that's rich people's problems, right? Because that only affects players who were able to get the Cannoneer last month and who bought the deal for the Millennium gun. And now all you have to get on that side is the high velocity rounds. But that means you're going to pick the Defender, you're going to pick the UAV, but you won't have the special. And that sucks.
Yeah, and the thing is that won't come back either. That's the thing, or unlikely to come back, that special, unless they do it later as a Tier 5 prize in the FM, because you sort of know that we saw the difference when we put the high velocity rounds on those Cannoneers in the preview. It made a heck of a difference.
Yeah, if you have Cannoneers, that's a must-have special.
Otherwise, don't bother.
yeah, it's definitely a must-have special for the Cannoneer. You know.
It's not just rich people problems. It's if you can get to 30 mil, you have this issue because of the way that they improperly handle the releasing of tech.
Yes.
At minimum,
for me personally, there's only one thing I'm going for on that slide, and that's the high velocity rounds. Because I'm not chasing. This is a crazy price pack. We can see the full thing in a minute for a 4-day standard raid. I think it's nuts, but there we go.
Well, I mean, that price tag for a 4-day raid is normal. I mean, sorry, what's on this slide right now, it's what we would normally expect for a 4-day raid.
It's the remaining
when
bit.
it piles up is when you look at all the other limited flagships and whatnot. That's when it gets crazy.
Yeah, agreed, mate.
You know. Now, I have a question. So, for lower levels, if you were to pick, would you pick the left side, Centurion Pack, Nuke Cell, or would you pick the right side? Or what mix would you do?
I would go left myself.
Yeah,
what do you think, guys?
left.
For me, I'm going
and the pack. That's just over 1.25? Yeah, 1.25 million, isn't it? So
I'd go Nuke Excel Pack Punisher. You lose a bit of
Pack Punisher.
Yeah, you lose a bit of I guess power utility in these specific raid targets, but the Punisher is still a fantastic all-around hull. You gain so much more.
Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to draw a line here. I think for players who are still lacking a tank for Forsaken Mission, meaning they don't have like a Tide Seeker FM tank, they don't have any decent FM tank to lead the mortar holes, I would definitely pick the Punisher, like Brian said.
Yep.
And then, you know, whatever cannon, and then the nuclear accelerator. Because you got to remember, the Arbalest is in FM, the crossbows are in FM, so, you know, the cannon, it's not really of consequence except for the raid. For this raid, if your FM situation is solved, so you're past that line I just drew, your FM's, well, you can get T5 and everything, then definitely I would go left side.
Okay, Loreda's in the chat, which is quite fortunate, and I'm not going to steal his thunder, I'll credit him for it, but basically my other thought as well is the two specials you got there, you got a UAV override, which is great, so it's only just good for UAVs, but the high velocity rounds is also good for other ships and other hulls, because we'll look at what it can do in a minute, and we'll discuss it, but it does fit on other hulls other than the Cannoneer, and it'll aid you massively as well. It's going to be a good special to have if you can get it. So I will definitely pick that one over the other one, because defender hulls come and go and that sort of stuff. And actually the base is made up of mostly, you know, a combination of hulls and, you know, turrets, not just one hull. So, you know, but that's just me personally. Should we move on? Next one. Okay, so this is the unlocked store. You might want to pause on this one for a little while. And then you'll notice down the bottom end, the first most annoying thing, okay, apart from the fact there are two, okay, flagships in there, is the fact that the Visago's Punisher, which cost me a goddamn gazillion points, okay, is now 6 million points, and I've only just used it once, and that was in the preview. Oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah, no, but I'm still going to say, remember, they did not change the build time for it, did they?
I have no idea as of yet. I don't. Well, to date, no, I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
Maybe tomorrow.
So it's still a 14-day long build time just for the naked hull, I believe, if I remember correctly. And we all know this raid, I think, the Punisher performance is below the Centurion performance. So why would you spend 14 days of your shipyard? I mean, and I don't care if they give the flagship away for free.
I wouldn't build it.
Why would you spend 14 days of your shipyard building a flagship for the 4th or 5th best hull to do raid? You know,
there is no need to have that hull anymore. Put it that way. Apart from it looks pretty.
Exactly. 14 days to build just a naked hull. You get a fully loaded ironclad and then some.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit annoyed because it actually is such a good looking hull, and I never built it.
Yeah. Oh, I like the car like Cannoneer. That looks quite funky. It looks quite angry, quite DPM-ish. I quite like that. So don't know the price, but actually, I suppose it's cheaper than the Cannoneer was itself. In fact, you can have both flagships for the same price, but that's a different issue. So anyway, we've got a stack of build tokens there, and they're generic ones, so you can use them for anything you like, which is good news. There is a Harlock's Cannoneer. We've got some stats on that in a second. Obviously, the Harlock's Ironclad, which is going to change. If you can get 30 million points, and we'll talk about damage, perceived damage that's coming in the raid as well, based on what we saw in the preview in a second. But if you can get that one there, if you're, I don't know if you've got the grind time to do it. For anybody that's got the Ironclads, I'd say that's a must-hull. Or no, that's the most thing you should try and chase more than anything else, I would say, is the Hardlock Cannoneer myself.
Can we get like a frequent buyer card or some good credit with Harlock? Because we bought all these ships. Like, can we just get one for free or at a discount, half price? We've bought so many. We've won so many. Give us a break, man. We're fighting the good fight for you.
Yeah. Now I wanted to say, I will go through the stats in a moment, right? But just one strategy, because one guy posted in the TFC page today, if somebody had some idea for him, because he had one fully loaded Ironclad and just 3 days of tokens to build a second one. And it's like, what can I do? And I think the answer to that question, or even myself, I finished 2 Ironclads, but I didn't have time to put all Mausers on them. Right? So I'm using 5 Earth Shakers on each because that built faster.
Yeah.
So my plan would be to redeem tokens first.
I've advised the same thing.
And refit my Ironclads with more Mausers. Or if you have the Cannoneers, refit some Millennium Guns on the Cannoneer. So get the tokens first, if you have the top 2 ships. Make some adjustments to make them more powerful, because that's going to save you in the remaining 3 days of the raid or 2 days of the raid. You know what I mean?
I think that's a really wise idea. Yeah.
I have my initial plan. I mean, depending on what's going on with the special, and I got to look at everything still to decide, was to actually get the special for the Cannoneer and refit it in raid, so I would make my raid easier.
Interesting.
That special is just ungodly.
Yeah, it is. And like I say, there are definitely some other mortar type hulls that you can stick it on. And apart from just, because the projectile speed's pretty funky.
Generic.
Yeah, generic projectile speed, which is good. Okay, so that's the unlock store. Like I said, we'll break out the holes and that sort of stuff in a moment. Here's the lock store. Okay, the first annoying bit is a time limited lock store. Okay, so it's ends at Saturday. Okay, bear in mind at 8:59 a.m. PST. So just bear that in mind.
Who's gonna be the first to say?
Go on, somebody say it, because this.
So this is utter garbage. This is terrible. The last time they did a lock store, the prizes there were crap. This time there's no crap. So D5 ST armor, stun resist. We found from the preview that typically when we take our Cannoneers in, they don't get stunned. The range is such that your margin for error is actually pretty high, pretty favorable to us. The Ironclad is 100% stun resist. If you put Agility System 4 on your Ironclad, I'm probably going to laugh at you.
They're good.
Agility
System 4, speaking of, is 5...
There it is.
5 million points.
There it
is.
In fact, right.
You can pretty much get 48 hours of build token time with that.
Yeah,
Or you get 1 million more and you get the Visago's Punisher.
Let's go back. Look, okay, so there you go. Look, so there's a stack of tokens there if you want to, or go back to the first one and you can get the Punisher. You can get obviously a nuclear accelerator, and you can get the pack cannon and a few build tokens if you want for the same price of one single special for one ship.
Right.
And if you could buy all 5, you probably could get your way up the top half of a tree there.
Do you know what? If you go and get 25 million of those, do another 5 million, and you've got yourself a nice new lead for your irons.
Yeah. Well, even if you didn't get the irons, get the flagship alone,
Yeah. Just get the flagship.
The flagship alone will be able to do some damage in B sets.
Go get your base. Go and hit some jobs.
Some nothing.
This is even worse than that, because the thing is the hull that's going to actually use this. Go back to the trees.
Yeah, hang on
for a second. See, one more. see that Centurion and the Punisher, they're the only two that actually would need these two specials the way that everything's set up right now. And one of those one of those agility systems, I don't know why it's 5 million instead of 1 or 1.5, but for 5 million, you have everything to put together a Centurion on one side or a Punisher on the other. I mean, why? I don't understand why.
Do you think they added a zero?
We gotta remember, okay, this is subject to change. So here's to hope. Here's to hoping that's a typo. That's a typo, and they actually mean 1 million each, which is 5 million for all 5. Maybe it's a typo, right?
Or is it 500K and 1 million for the other one?
Yeah.
I think it was a million for an agility 4 last raid. Maybe it's 500,000 now. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure.
It's half a million or it's a million, but I'm willing to bet that's a typo.
I hope so.
I hope it is.
It's just the need for them has been devalued because of the way that the targets are. I mean, the only hulls that really absolutely going to need them are the Centurion and the Punisher.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Numbers are hard, man. Oh, hey. Wait. Gamma Behemoth. 2 million now. They used to be 5. They used to be 4.5, and now they're 2. And you can only get 4. It's the same as the rest of the lot, which I find a little. Oh, Gamma Behemoth. Wait. Gamma Behemoth shard times 5?
I think that's another typo.
That can't be right.
Andrew, is that Zach as it came through, mate? Was it?
So what's that?
So the Gamma shards times 5, 4 times.
Million.
That gives you 20.
All right, hold on.
That gives you two full gammas. That can be right.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gotta be
Subject to
just
change, everybody.
Although, but here's the thing too. Now with the new Alpha one, maybe they did decide to do that.
Yep, it is. It's a gamma about shards times 5, 2 million for each.
So we
Wow.
received like that from KSI, right? So
Yes.
again, I'm not saying it's Andrew's typo, but maybe it's a typo because every time they offered
Yeah.
that was just one shard, 2 million points or however many points, 4 million before.
I
Right?
hope it's
So
not a typo.
maybe
That
it's
would be
not
fantastic.
times 5. I mean, I would take that with a grain of salt.
It is. I'll advise a couple of my guys to go and get a couple of those because they've got no real big defender holes in their mid-level bases. So
And before
that's
anyone
a solid
says that
thing.
hull is outdated, it's still the best countermeasure hull in the game.
If there are mortars, this thing has a job. Are there
Yes.
mortars? Yes. This thing has a job.
If mortars kill your base, you need one of those.
yeah,
Well, these stand
Loaded with countermeasures, and you don't even need the countermeasure special because it's all built in. It's awesome.
So if these stats are correct, and they did put like times 5 shards, and you can redeem 4, they've probably done that because of the alpha.
yeah, I'm thinking you're right, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because the Alpha's in there.
Well, let's see. We'll find out in a couple of days, won't we? Okay. So as of now, that's the information we've got. Okay. So bear in mind that that little area there is limited. Okay, then, and it's not going to last for the last day and a half of the raid format. So bear that in mind. The only annoying thing, it starts obviously at 8 it says it cuts off obviously at 8 a.m. PST, and depending on which world you're in, that's going to give you even more time or less time than other people. You know.
That's 5
Yeah,
p.m.
only less time. Only less time because it starts in alpha at 9, right?
Yeah. So going to give you less. So the people in Alpha get a bit of a bonus in some respects. I suppose a bit longer to go and get those things if they want them.
It's not worth it for the crap they have to put up with every
Anyway,
day, but okay.
it's shite. Yeah, exactly, because they get all the lag and that sort of stuff, which I'm not doing. Right. Okay. So that's the lock store. And here we go. No, I'll apologise for this slide, and it's nobody's fault apart from the fact that's the best picture we could get. Okay, and so it is a little bit fuzzy, but what you can talk about that one there is the fact that, in fact, George, I know you've gone through this a little bit, haven't you? You've looked at some of the stats because you've always had somebody sort of query it on the main page, haven't you? About deflection and all that
Which
sort
I'm
of stuff.
actually having loading problems right now with the screen.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. So the Alpha Behemoth actually has, this is why I think that was not a typo. The Alpha Behemoth has the same, I believe, range and accuracy. Well, actually no, I think the anti-mortar on the Gamma's 150 where this one's 50. I can't read that.
It's a little
Yes,
bit of
just
ultra
50% accuracy.
That's something.
But it's, anti-mortar really, 50% from 150 is a difference.
So anti-mortar is 50% all the way down
Okay,
for the line.
very-
So range is 50%
Yeah.
and accuracy is
Yeah.
50%.
The range is the same with the Gamma. The anti-mortar accuracy is different. The Gamma has 150% accuracy on the antis, where this one only has 50. On the other hand, though, it has a whole lot of deflection. It has deflection
does, yeah.
on everything, and it's I mean, it's a very interesting hull. I want to see how it's gonna work with the specials, because you know it's been an issue. So I'm hoping. I mean, it's again, they're giving us something that's kind of versatile rather than just a one-shot, one-trick pony in the base.
Mm.
So
I
I'm
feel
holding
like
out
this.
hope right now.
Yeah, go on, Brian. So.
I feel like this could be a good kind of spotter front to midline thing, because you've got your 98 range on your UAV that'll spot for probably your Harlock Citadel in the back, and it's got enough deflection and enough armor repair efficiency of 0.06, by the way, so really, really good.
The thermal's great, isn't it? I love that 90.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
Yeah, 90 thermal.
Yeah, it'll live. Yeah, 90 thermal. It's gonna live a long time. It's gonna do a whole lot.
I just want to know how
good.
it bloodthirsts. How does it bloodthirst?
Yeah, I don't get that
Yeah.
either. I don't, because it says it's bloodthirst, so that's the first on these. So I don't see how that's happening. So is this a? Yeah, I don't quite understand that.
I don't know if that might
I'm
be a type.
intrigued.
That might be just a special ability, and they added the bloodthirst by accident, maybe.
Don't know.
I don't know.
But the fact that it's also a tier 5.5, so we're not into tier 6s just yet, because we know they're coming this season, because we've been told about it. But so this is a mid, something in the middle, which is why I'm not, I like it, but I'm not going to bust my balls to go and get it if it costs
Guys,
me, the other shells.
Team, there's a bloodthirst thing, but down beneath it, Cold Snap MU, no. Resonance Trigger, yes. Deflection buffs. What?
For all the nearby holes, if you read the whole description, all the holes within that aura, and I think the range is 40 something, whatever. All the holes nearby will gain those deflections.
Okay, I couldn't see a range, so it threw me
I
off.
don't
Thank
see
you.
a range. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the range is up there. Yeah, that's right. Now,
It's
what's
so
also
interesting.
not there is how do you trigger the bloodthirst? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
how it's gonna be
I
triggered.
don't know. I have to say,
Yeah.
it's quite a new concept for this one, isn't it? So
Best guess
Interesting,
we've
though.
got is killing the attacking fleet, because it's killing enemy targets, and they are the enemy when they're attacking you as a defender.
But you still have a stack of one. You know. What I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
There's no
like
stack at all.
yeah. So is it? One hole doesn't make your base though. And this isn't going. I don't think
Really
this is
doesn't.
going to stop everything. But it's interesting, I have to say. I quite like it, and I like the fact that the deflection bonus is 2.5k.
Right.
Yeah, you
Good.
have countermeasure bonuses, so it's good against mortar and missiles. You have one of the best thermals I've seen for a regular non-limited hull.
Mm.
You have decent armor and deflections.
Yep.
And then you have a buff to nearby hulls. So yes, this hull can actually make a very big difference in your base defense. Not only for its own attack capabilities, but for the buff it gives other hulls.
Just look at the load.
And
Have you seen the load chain count? It's down to 2,
Yeah.
which is not the best. So it shouldn't go making a huge mess amongst, if you stagger fleets coming in and that sort of stuff.
But I think the special adds another one, so we can go to 3.
Special. Now, I do want to say something, because we're looking at that bloodthirst and we're talking about it. I want to just let everyone know that's watching. This is really like just hot off the presses. So there might be, typos here and there, and it's not a finalized list. We were actually lucky enough to actually get them just before the show. So subject to change. Like I wish it was a subject to change on every single slide, because
I get sick of saying that, mate. So
Yeah.
as it stands
make it
today,
clear.
this is it. As it stands right now,
Yes.
it can all be slightly tweaked, but this is how it is for the second. So
Yeah.
Tier
So
5,
okay.
that's interesting.
there we go. So
Now,
there's
the other comment I wanted to make, it's all those in the attack section, all those damage bonuses, they are for the hull only. They're not part of the aura. The aura is increasing deflection for nearby hulls. All those attack buffs are just for the alpha.
And that's really weird, because with the Valiant, we got range boosts to make those other weapons at least somewhat viable. For this, there isn't that. And the damage buffs on their own aren't really enough to steer you away from the weapon and special that this is meant to be paired with. I guess it's supposed to sort of make it okay if you can't get those, but if you can't get it, just load it up with Gales.
Exactly. I mean,
Okay.
this hull, it's made to work with UAVs, but if you don't have the UAVs, you can load it with missiles.
Okay.
You can load it with launchers, and it has a damage buff.
So Laredo's just saying in the chat that
Scarab.
there is method in the madness and there is more to follow. So let's just see what's going to come. All right. So we are, we always find something unusual when UAVs turn up, don't we? So,
If Laredo knows what triggers the bloodthirst.
yeah.
that would be nice.
Well,
Pop
he's
that
just
in
he's,
chat,
all he
Laredo.
says he's had a long chat with the designer about it, and basically he says that there is method in the madness. I mean, that'll do. That's enough for now. Let's wait and find out some more later on.
We are just as lost as you are, viewers.
No, I like it though. I like something fresh. It's another little piece of a puzzle that's the puzzle they're developing. I like it. It's good.
It is really interesting.
Yeah, it
But
is.
I'll probably get in the whole story, not here.
Okay, so and there's the Scarab that goes with it. Okay, it's probably not that big in reality, but just blew the picture up a little bit. So you can see the stats there. Really poor on wall and building damage. So this is designed for defending and not attacking. So don't think you can go and chuck it on something else a bit later on because it's not the right one for it. It's a base defending Scarab. So
The FEF Scarabs.
Micro flechettes.
yeah, good term, mate. Swarm duration is 1 look, UAV reload 0.2. It's okay. So and deflection on there and that sort of stuff.
So I'm going to start talking about UAVs, and I hope someone will catch me if I'm wrong.
Cool.
So what this means is it goes out to a target, and it deals 1590 every 0.2 seconds, the reload stat, for the 1 second swarm duration. So you're going to get in 5 shots. Unless they count time t equals 0 as a shot, then you're going to get in 6.
That's the bit I'm not sure about. Yeah.
And it is full damage, as I understand it. It's not spread out over the 5 like you would with a salvo or
UAVs
divided
don't work.
like
No,
with a
UAVs don't
multi-shot.
work that way, do they? They go out and they hit the damage. That's it.
We
It's not
haven't seen
normally
one in a year, so I'm just saying
Yeah.
I think this is how they work, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't touched on I haven't looked at UAVs in so long. I have to go and bone up on everything on it. But here, the thing that I'm actually looking at is that defense where it has the deflection. Do we know what the damage is on our anti-weapons to know how much it's deflecting, or is
Nope.
something else going to be able to shoot this down? I mean that's a little odd.
I thought deflection would have been a percentage rather than a plus.
No, you gain this much deflection. Like 5 of these on your alpha behemoth puts your 2,500 deflection up to
my
3.
Bad.
Yeah,
I misunderstood that.
Me too.
the type of countermeasure will state what it shoots. Anti-missile does, I believe. Most anti-missiles, some anti-mortars maybe. You have to look on the specific blueprint, and it'll tell you exactly what it shoots down.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
I'm going to be doing a lot of reading this weekend.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so there we go. That's the Scarab anyway. And we'll get some rain boxes on that one over the next couple of days. What we mean, I'll tell you that. Right, so there's the UAV overdrive. Okay, so that's what goes with it. So there's no even point mentioning at the moment that it can go on other hulls, because all the other hulls, as I tried to use my DCs the other day in a preview, they didn't last seconds and they were gone. So chain count 1, UAV damage, so plus 65, and splash bonus as well, plus 45. So yeah, and the chain count is at plus 1. Chain range 25.
Does it have a splash? I didn't see a splash. Did I just miss it?
Yep, splash 10.
Splash 10? Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Okay, so there you go. So you've got splash 10 plus, and obviously any other specials you put on as well. So just bear in mind,
And
chain
the
range is
plus 1 chain
25.
count. So you put that on the alpha, you change 2, you add 1. Now the chain count is 3. And just to clarify that for players, when the chain count is 3 or plus 3, is it attacking 3 targets or 4 targets? Because you're chaining 3 times.
It's initial plus X, isn't it? The X.
Yeah, I'd say
factor.
four.
That's
because
how I
the chain-
understand. That's how I knew that, but it's been so long since I used UAVs, I forgot. I think it's the base 1 hit plus the chain count.
Yeah, because the
So
chain count of
chain count
0
of
still will hit 1 thing, so it should be that plus.
Yes. Plus chain count of 3 total on the whole plus special means you're going to hit 4 targets if they are in range.
So
And
I suppose the question is really with this one here, looking at all the other chaining specials that we have on it's in our docks at the moment. Okay, is to go into the shipbuilder and have a quick look and say to yourself, before you even go and win any of this stuff, is can I fit another one of the chain count specials on instead, and then can I go left here and go get the special for the cannoneer?
So
well, you can always use the UAV battery.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. A few quick points. I don't think this will overlap with the UAV battery because they share stats, but then again, I've been proven wrong about that numerous times recently because I think Kix makes this stuff up as they go as to what specials can stack where.
So for me, for Friday, this has got Jeff in the crib written all over it. I'm sure a comparison table is going to come out. I can see it coming already.
Probably. Yeah. If you've got this on the hull and you use the intended Scarab, one UAV is going to deal 3975 radioactive damage 5 times, and then come back for a hopefully 2-second reload, and then fire out again. So that's pretty good.
It is. No, agreed.
Oh, the other thing, chaining range. It was asked about a way long time ago, death from above and this and that, and the conclusion they came to back then was that chaining range doesn't stack. It's sort of like turret defense. It takes the highest value and it stops. So people were thinking that when they used their death from above crews, that it would add to the chaining range and then they could go from, front line to whatever to center.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, that's not possible.
And that's not how that works. No. It just takes the highest value.
Okay. There we go. So that's that one. That we should have obviously which we've seen the special, but so this is a Millennium gun. Just to say that's the stats for it. There's nothing new there because for those that should have watched some of the previews would have seen it. It's still the 4,410 for building and wall. A very dedicated weapon, isn't it? Really. But building wall damage plus 650%. That's a lot. Reload time 2.5. So. It's a straightforward map across from the preview server, that one there. And the HV rounds. So this is the one we're going to talk about a little bit. So basically, it's a tier 5 item. Then weapon weight is quite low, which is quite reasonable. But I like the fact that the ballistic damage is 55%, projectile speed, which is a generic projectile speed of 100%, and a building damage of obviously 80%, and including wall damage is 80%. So this is something you could obviously stick on some other hulls that might assist you as well.
I can see that on any mortar hull doing FM or hitting bases would be just beautiful.
So anybody that's got the new special, the mortar deflection on their OP, anybody that's been hitting OPs recently with that special on it, they've been finding it quite hard to kill the OPs. So this may help you out if you're base attacking and drop this onto your mortar ships instead.
Yeah, because you're already going to have, let's say, a siege battery 3 that adds 70-something% building damage. Then you stack this one, you're adding another 80%, and they stack multiplicatively, which means you're probably going to end up somewhere around 260-300% building damage. And not only that, but the mortar travel time gets cut in half because you're adding 100% speed, more speed. So it hits twice as fast. You won't reload twice as fast, but you'll hit twice as fast, which is also great for base defense.
Yeah,
and in doing it's great because you're hitting the target faster, so your tank's taking less damage, right?
So this is a very versatile special as far as I'm concerned. So don't just think it's only to do with ballistics, because it's not. I can see this sitting on a lot of holes.
Yeah, another hull that could benefit from that in my mind is even like the Centurion. If the Centurions are still your main go-to siege hull for this raid, and you can't score enough points to get the new weapon or the new hull, you stick this on the Centurion, it could make a difference.
This might actually help missile fleets too, and like the FM to overcome the Iron Curtain.
There's a lot of potential, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did they unlock that capability to purchase the special without purchasing the weapon and hull first?
Yeah, as far as I know, it's not locked.
Okay. We'll
see. We'll see. I don't know. But it's at the top of the shot. You're right. So, but this is the first thing I'm getting anyway. So,
I got to get a gun first. But
all right,
this is good.
Yeah, it's a good special. I
Ryan's
like
got
it.
a gun. Ryan's got
Cool.
a gun.
Right, so that's the high velocity rounds anyway. So here's the stats for the Harlock Cannoneer. So we managed to get some good pictures on this one. So we zoomed it right in. I like the paint job. It's good. Okay, I like that one. It's quite a decent color scheme, I think, for the Cannoneer.
I like the lighting effects. It's kind of around the middle there.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I like that.
It's a party.
It
Looks
is.
a lot better than the other one.
So what's the best thing about this flagship effect here? For me, forget the fact that obviously it gives special ability stun resistance and that sort of stuff. The flagship effect is the most important bit to me because it gives you a ballistic damage bonus of 60%.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's big. I mean, because you get 60% from the flagship. Go back one page, Mark, please. And then you get 55% from this guy.
Yeah.
And then the hull already has some built-in ballistic damage. It's really, really big when you add it all up.
So I'm thinking one-shotting. You'd be one-shotting targets personally in the raid.
Yeah.
If you've got them all sorted, yeah, that's a lot of damage.
And
That's
it's
not
not only that. I mean, when you put this ship in the fleet, you're adding a 5th aura. So you look at the bonuses on the bottom right side: combat speed, ballistic reload. You're getting another 25% ballistic reload. So I have a fleet of 4 cannoneers, so I'm already at 100% ballistic reload. If I add this guy, I go to plus 125 reload.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but you could just do that with a 5th cannoneer.
More speed and more damage, so it's really cool.
This is really only useful for the ballistic damage, but that is a lot of ballistic damage.
It is. Yeah, it's a huge amount.
What's the repair duration compared to a regular cannoneer? Is that the same?
0.8, same as normal.
So that's not bad. That's actually better.
It's quite
than
reasonable,
the way
isn't
they
it?
did the Harlock. Yeah, I mean the
Yeah,
time sequence.
what's not reasonable, it's actually scoring 100 million points in 4 days. That's not reasonable.
Yeah, no,
Right?
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, ignoring that for a moment, and assuming that Kixeye is going to be smart and will tune down the damage dealt by the targets, you know,
Well, Doom.
having 3 or 4 cannoneers and this flagships, or having 2 or 3 ironclads and the ironclad flagship, it's actually very, very interesting, right? Very good, I think.
Yeah, Doom went out of his way on the forums several times to kind of tell everybody, hey, the targets were not final during that preview server. So, you know, they're still tuning them, and I'm hoping that they're going to tune them down, at least for the first raid. I mean, I would hope, given what's gone on in the last week, that actually happens. So, yeah, let's not jump to conclusions. They might actually tune them down.
We'll see. Oh, so there you go. Anyway, Harlock's Cannoneer. That's our bad boy for the people that want to go off and smash some S targets and that sort of stuff with the new special, which I'll probably give a go, to be honest, and then probably do a video or something like that and see if it works out, and then people can. That's the first thing I'm probably going to go for, or I might go the opposite way and do this one for another specific reason. So here we have the Harlock's Ironclad. Okay, so we've got a lead flagship now for your Ironclads. Okay, and so those that have just done the Iron Maiden campaign, okay, this may be your baby, because what's wrong with the Ironclads? They're very slow. What does this one do for you? It speeds them all up. So it's brilliant. Flagship effect then is a bonus combat speed then of 45%. That's going to make a huge difference, and a turn speed as well of 40%.
Yeah,
So-
especially if you're going to be auto and stuff.
Yeah, what a huge difference. That's going to make those things sing along quite nicely.
Yeah, we got to remember in the preview, right? Ironclads were like all loaded with, unless you had them all loaded with Earthshakers. Just an Ironclad with Speed System 5 would not outrun damage from that central turret, the radioactive ring. They could not outrun that. They were taking damage every volley. Just a little bit, but every volley. With that, significant speed bonus, they should be able to, because they're going to go from like a 33 speed, I think they had with Speed System 5. Then you add 45% on top of that, so you're going to almost 50.
So I would like to say, please keep the retreat button in the targets as you saw in the preview, because then the higher level players in their alliances can help out the middle layer and the lower layer players in their alliances, and they can get them this hull, because I think it will change their game. I really do.
Yeah,
It will
keep
bring
that
them up.
I want it there for another reason, but keep the retreat button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a really well designed ship, I feel. Again, it addresses the only weakness of the Ironclad, but it's not overtly strong like the Harlock's Tideseeker. We saw that, and we knew that thing was amazing because it provided a lot of tangible resistances and this and that, and probably made the Tideseeker a bit too good. That's why it was the best hull come the end of the last raid cycle. But this doesn't.
And Brian, to your point, sorry, I just wanted to say we've been very critical of recent actions by Kixeye, and I think justifiably so. But I wanted to give them kudos for learning a lesson too. I just mentioned the Harlock Tideseeker. It went down. It didn't went well with the community that the Harlock Tideseeker had a repair time of like 8 hours, right? Twice as much as the regular Tideseekers, and they seem to have learned or the lesson or heard the message, however you want to call it, because these two flagships have the exact same repair time as their regular counterparts, and I think that is good. So kudos to Kixeye for that.
And heard me, yay!
Yeah, they heard George.
Yeah, it boosts their speed. Their only weakness, it's not overly powerful, but again, it could make them fast enough to dodge the shots, and it will make them faster in the gap where the enemy can hit you, but you cannot yet hit them because you're out of range. So you're also going to be taking less damage because of that.
Yeah. Definitely. I like it. And you know, like, they haven't gone crazy on the flagship effects. I like it. Just the fact that they've just gone speed and turn, that works really, really well. Gets you around the target faster, gets you that godforsaken central cannon thing. You know, it means you can outrun it now if you've got this hull as well. It's going to make life a lot easier for people, I think, to be honest. And then when it comes to finishing your raids, when it comes to doing chores, you know, our normal PvE stuff as well, it's going to make an awful lot of people very happy when they're coming to hit 97s and that sort of stuff, you know, get their base parts. So be good fun, I think. Any other comments on that one? Are we done?
I like that. I really do like this hull.
So do I. So this is my number 2 item to get in the raid. So that special for the Cannoneers number 1, this is my number 2, because I think this is going to make my life doing my chores much quicker. So I like this one a lot. So that's me. Right, okay, so this isn't my rumour. George, take it away if you want to. Or who put this one in? I'm not sure who it was.
Ren.
Oh, it's Ren's, is it? We're going to blame Ren now for this slide. He's going, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what? Sorry, I spaced out for a moment. What?
Okay.
Oh, the slide, the rule. Oh, yeah. So there is a discussion going on at a certain gaming company about doing something for the lower level players. See, they think about it. So it's not confirmed, it's not firm, there's no communication. It's just an idea that's been going around. But if I were a betting man, I would bet they're going to do it. They want to make, since the raid cycles are shorter now, only 3 months, the idea would be to make it easier for players to transition into the new cycle by giving them an option to hit things from the older cycles in the first month at least. So a probable option is to have campaigns for the weekend of the raid, which I assume would not be co-op. And the idea is to have one river campaign with the targets we've been fighting the last 2-3 months, that you can do with Tideseekers, Tiger Sharks, and Hell Raids. And another campaign with Legion targets from the cycle before that, so the Legion assault forces, right? Mega hulls and whatnot that you could kill with Apollos and Rhinos with a tank and so on. So if that's done, and we don't know that for sure, likely there will be a limit to the number of times you can run the campaign. So you can only score a certain number of points, and probably a certain number of points enough for you to get the mid-level prizes, not the top prizes. That's it. And the other thing is if you remember, let's say a B set or an A set less raid paid with bonuses and whatever, 3 million points or so, it will pay less. Okay, it will. So, but it's an option. I think it's quite nice. I'm very supportive of that option if it materializes. I think it gives everyone an extra month to build their fleets and rank their fleets and everything for this cycle. And in the meantime, you can at least score some points and get something cool. Like maybe you can score 6 million points through these campaigns and get the new weapon. Maybe you can score 9 million points, get the weapons and tokens, you know, that kind of stuff.
Well, what if you goof up on your cannoneer driving and you go, I'm going to go and fix them. While I'm fixing them, let's jump in here and do something else.
Right.
And still get
There you
points.
go.
I think that the idea behind this is to also help, you know, mid-level players a little bit more because, you know, let's face it, some of these raids, we're struggling sometimes, and you know, the limits on the limits on the points and the you know, reduced points for the targets are there just to kind of like not let us. Yeah, I mean, because we can auto some of that stuff. They don't want us autoing our entire raid for nothing to, you know what I mean? So I think this is mainly geared towards helping some people transition, like it says, transition into the next raid set.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I like the idea a lot.
Sorry, George. I just wanted to add to what you said. Two things. I hope Kickside does not make the mistake of capping level, player level, capping this, because
points too much, yeah.
We all know some players may be level 85 or 90, but they're just coming back or they're way behind the tech curve. So I don't think base level is relevant, and I hope they don't cap. And the other thing is, I hope they don't make these campaigns in a way where the last target you need to defeat to win is the elite target from last month, because, you know, not everyone has hell rates or that kind of stuff. If they make it reasonable, even if it doesn't pay as much in points, you know what I mean? Enough for people to get the lower tier prizes or the new weapon kind of thing. I think that would be the sweet spot. That's just me. I mean, I know someone is going to call me names now and say, no, there shouldn't be a limit. I should be able to do all my raid on that. Whatever.
No, definitely not. No, I don't agree with that.
It's my opinion.
Then just do the last raid. And I think
exactly. That's not what it's all about.
And I think this is really good, especially in the first raid of a cycle where a lot of times, and I feel this time more so in particular, we aren't really prepared for the targets. I know this time they're still going through tuning, but the first raid of the last 2 cycles has kind of been a disaster. It's a lot of players have been unprepared, and a lot of players have been feeling frustrated and unable to do the targets with the tech that was supposed to be able to do them. So this would help with nice transition. It would help them get a little more value out of what they built the previous months. And I mean, heck, I'll take part. I'll use my Tide Seeker and auto a few bits if I can get an extra 1,000,000 points. That'll buy me maybe a 12-hour one-day build token. Fantastic.
Yeah. Just set it to going, and then if it is a Tide Seeker type event, like you say, set it going, go back out of it. You just view out the world map again and then get on with something else, or vice versa. Like say, you've taken some damage on your normal fleet out on the ocean. Well, let's go and do that instead for a little bit and let it get it a bit repaired and that sort of stuff. So, you know, it's I like it. I think it's a really good idea, and I hope it does pay off. I hope they don't cap the points too much, and I hope they don't level lock it either. So, and if they do the number of hits you can do, so you can only do it 10 times, I think, well, okay, I understand it, but. It's the first time it's happened, so you know it may not be perfect, it may not be what everybody wants, but at least they are thinking, and I like that concept. It's a very good idea, I think.
It should be a smooth rollout. They've done this in the past. Ironically enough, the Scourge is the last time I can remember it happening, where our only option for engaging the raid was to go to our campaign tower and you hit a series of 5 encounters and you get a completion bonus at the end of the last target.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to the last slide for tonight, and then we've got a couple of points to discuss quickly. So this is just a TSM amusement slide, okay? I don't think I've ever seen so many offers in 7 days in my life in the game. It's just like, I had so many screens popped up. I was like, oh, for the love of Jesus Christ, come on.
Do you have the one for the other ship? Please
I've had all sorts of stuff popping up. So, you know, even Zelos tokens have been popping up and all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
Like, are you having a freaking giraffe? you know, a discount is only a discount if you want it for a start. So I get that. Not everybody's going to want it. And I haven't taken any of these because I don't need them. But the point is that some of the discounts aren't worth having
Where's
at
my
all
calculator?
because they're not the ships that you really want to get discounted. Like, you know, I mean, I don't think anybody's using a Zealous at the moment, that sort of stuff. And if they were, they wouldn't be probably buying the tokens now because they've probably done a Zealous for what they need. We all know it's not a fleet hull, and it's certainly not the repair time of it is horrendous. So,
well, if I may say something, it's like, again, I'm all in favor of as many offers as Kixeye wants to put out there because here's the thing: they got to make money somehow. If two guys take the Zealous offer, they made some money, right? And if that's a way of them like making money without forcing people to coin because it's entirely optional, right? And you know, it's I'd rather they make money through these offers than by tuning the targets in raid at super high difficulty level and kind of putting pressure on everyone to coin if you want to score the raid prizes. You know,
I wholeheartedly
I find this less of a undesirable pressure tactic to make you spend than just making the raids super hard kind of thing. So if they gotta make money somehow, I'd rather they do it this way.
Or by selling the cannon for $10.
Or skins. Bring back
well,
more
kind of like
skins.
giving the cannon away for free if you buy $10 in coins.
If you buy $10,
price.
that's fair. Is this in
That's what they did.
Is this in pounds?
for me,
What
yes, sorry,
currency
it
is
is.
this?
Yes, it is. It's UK.
Okay,
UK money.
so at an 85% discount, so doing that backwards, that 100,000 Cannoneer VXP, which is I think enough to scull 2 ships up from 0, 331.5 pounds.
Yeah,
Okay.
VXP is the most expensive thing in this game, by the way. It's most expensive than anything else you can buy in this game. That's why I never
That's
bought
hilarious. And there's, again, it was mentioned, there's Zealous build tokens, which I feel like they kind of swept the Zealous under the
didn't
rug
dare
and tried
put
to
that
pretend
up.
it didn't exist already.
I had that one as well.
Already.
So that works out to be $60.61.
Does it, Andrew? Right? Is that the current exchange money? Is it?
The 49 pounds? Okay.
Anyway, so
Wrong man.
that was the last slide. I just thought I'd pop it up because it just made me smile, and I was like, "That okay, well done, guys." It just made me chuckle. It was just, it was quite funny. So just a couple of things I was going to mention quickly. Okay, so we've had the transition of uranium targets. Bear in mind then when the raid starts, and you won't see those old uranium targets anymore because that's the end of the month. Well, it's not quite the end of the month, but obviously you don't get them during the raid cycle, and it'll stop because the new ones kicked in after the raid last time. So that's us. Yeah. So you should be transitioning now, and you should be using obviously your newer fleets now for the newer type of targets. Yeah, Tide Seekers is the way ahead.
What you used in the last raid set, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, if you use
also,
the raid, crack on. So those blue ones for uranium will disappear. Okay. I'm not sure if they sorted out the additions that went with it because there were some bonuses missing from the new ones.
I hope they actually remember to update the locator because right now there's no locator for Weaver Armadas. The locator only locates Draconian Armadas, so they gotta change that.
Yeah, fair point actually.
Well, and probably change that when they remove the old targets.
Let's hope so.
And if you
go on.
if you do want to hit these new targets, there was a post in forums, but a lot of people don't read it. It's been posted on our page, but apparently people don't see that. You can hit the new targets in teal, but the uranium that you get is like 1% of what it is normally. You can hit a 75 in teal, you will get 300 uranium. If you hit that same one in yellow or orange, then you get the 33,500 or whatever it is. So make sure, check your sector bar before you go and hit them to not get
I'll reiterate the other point as well is don't go to somebody else's sector because they've got yellow or orange, that sort of stuff. And if yours is in teal, you won't get their bonus either. And that's really annoying some people because while they're popping in.
But if your sector is yellow and you go to another sector and hit them, then you get the points.
Yes, but if yours isn't and theirs is, you don't get it.
It's based on your sector threat bar level.
Mm-hmm. It is. That's it. What was the other thing we were going to talk about? So that's uranium targets. That's about sector points. Don't know. Forgotten the other thing. Anyway, anything else for any other guys? We've got 5 minutes left, so go on.
I've got a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes, you did. Right, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's unrelated, but it's for a good cause. Currently on Twitch, probably live right now, actually. There's something called Awesome Games Done Quick, AGDQ for short. This is obviously the 2017 version. It's been around for, I think, 5 or 6 years. And what it is, it's a week-long marathon, and I do mean that literally. That is about 140-something hours straight of speed runs. And a speed run is trying to beat a game in a particular fashion sometimes as quickly as you can while utilizing the game's mechanics such as glitches or just good timing and things like that. They play some fantastic Tetris. Not so much this particular one because the game they chose is a little off, and it's for a good cause. Watching is completely free, but you can, if you want, you can donate to the Doctors Without Borders, and that goes to help people over in third world countries and countries that may not have access to medicine due to war or internal conflicts or other things like that. And 100% of your donation goes there. And typically what happens is there's 2 versions of this a month. There's the one that's going on right now through the week of January, and there's one a little later on in June or July. Each of them tends to gather over $1 million in terms of donations. And if you donate, you can get people to play more games, or you can get them to play in different ways, and you are often entered to win raffle prizes. So there's maybe something in it for you as well. Twitch.tv/ I believe it's AGDQ, or twitch.tv/ Games Done Quick. The current stream is Awesome Games Done Quick. That's going to last through January 15th. There's no set end time right now because it depends on what people donate for what games and how long they play. But it's something to check out. It's for a good cause. You'll see something pretty awesome, I'm sure. And if you like playing some of the old games they have, you might get a bit of nostalgia and hopefully help them out. It's a great thing.
Okay. Excellent. And so we'll post something like that up on the page as well, just so everybody knows what we're talking about, just to confirm that. Good. Okay, so we've got the last 2 minutes. Andrew, thanks for the slides, mate, tonight, because it was all your work and I didn't do a darn thing, to be honest. So thanks for everything, mate, and thanks for converting it from what was just a pile of garbage from Liam into something that really quite professional, I have to say. Not that it was Liam's fault. It's just that he was duped and nacked. So there we go. Good stats again, Brian. Thank you very much, George. Good input, mate. And we're looking forward to the next interesting blog from you, mate, which would be great fun.
Thanks.
You love your blogs, mate. I know you do. Ren's Ren. I'm sure we'll have some nice instruction videos come out in no time at all. We'll call it a night there. Unless anybody's got anything else, have they? Anything to close, guys?
I think it was good. I think we covered it all.
Thank you to TSM for hosting.
Oh, hey, comes the
Thanks,
territory.
Mr. Host. You're an excellent host.
Right, I'll say take care all, and we'll speak to you again. The raid will have commenced and that sort of stuff. And we are obviously the Saturday night. Okay, don't flap too much because we will have an open mic and we will be talking about various different things, up to and including, oh my God, those targets were too tough, or my word, they were easy. So we'll see how it goes, shall we? We never know. Right.
Yep.
Good night all, and
Good night,
take care.
everybody.
Good night.
Night, everybody.